Hello, my name is Felix and this video will be on how to make your own Picrew. Now this is how to create your own image maker, not how to use someone else's Picrew. So here I am on the main Picrew site. I am using Google Chrome for this because it can translate web pages. However, you can use any other browser that can translate web pages if you cannot read Japanese. So we want to click on Picrew Creator. And here I already have a few. First of all, you will have to sign up for an account and you'll need to make a username, a password, and also provide an email. I personally used a temporary email. They sent me a verification link and it worked really easy. So let's make a Picrew. We want to make sure that we keep it on this selection, otherwise the users will not be able to customize their own character. So give it a name. And let's add a description. And we can change the name up here if we want. You can just describe your Picrew, say that you don't want people to use it for like advertisements or something, I also recommend that you include a Japanese translation. You can just use like a translator. It may not be perfect, but since a lot of the user base is Japanese, it will be nice just to let them know what's going on, what your Picrew is about. So you can also add an icon for your Picrew. I have not done that yet for the one that I am working on. I would like to wait till I'm finished, and then I will make a Picrew, an image from it that I think looks nice for an example that I would select for my icon of the whole entire Picrew. And then we can save it. However, if you want to delete it, if you want to delete your Picrew, you would go here to delete it. Now that we have our Picrew, let's take a look at some of the things you will want to add. So I'm going to go to the preview of the Picrew I have already made. Well, it's not finished yet. I'm still working on it, which is why it looks kind of weird right now. And also the fact that your preview will add every single item of each part. So you can see all these are selected. So it's a little cluttered. So the first main thing you will want to customize are the parts. So people typically will have a part for the body, a part for the head, a part for the facial features, for each facial feature, parts for hair, so like you might want hair that's behind the body, and you might want hair that's in front of the head, and you might want little additions. And then you'll have parts for the hair. People typically include at least like two, for the clothes. People include at least two different parts for the clothes, so you can have one that overlaps the other. And then you'll want to have a background as well. So within each part you have items. These are the items. And oftentimes they are basically just different shaped versions of each part. So like these are all bodies, they're just different shapes. Same with the heads. And then within each item, you will have different colors. Now you don't have to add different colors. For me, for the noses, I didn't add any colors. However, for the lips, I did, with different colors here. So now, how do we add the parts, the items, and the colors into our Picrew? I will first show you what my Picrew currently looks like. So the first page it'll bring you to is where we see the parts. You can also click on this smiley face over here to get back to the parts page. So it'll show you your parts all along here. And to get to items, you will either click the first little blue box here called item, or you can click on the words on the side here to go to the items for each part. So let's take a look. So I have 6 different items for the body, and for each item I have 5 different colors. And then let's go back to the parts page. We can go to the settings, which is the second button for each part, or we can also click on the little gear icon next to each part on the side here. Look at settings. So the settings is where we can delete a part if you so choose. You just click this red thing here and it'll ask if you really want to do that. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to hit cancel, the gray button. And you can also edit your parts. So this edit screen will allow you to choose the icon that the viewers will see for each part, and you can show it in the menu. So like if you're still working on it and on a part and you don't want other people to see it, and you have made your Picrew public, you can click on that. At least I believe so. I haven't actually done that before. The remove button here, that one's interesting. So I have this turned off. That means that the user who's using the Picrew will not be able to turn off the body. However, you can leave this on and they will be able to remove certain items. Let me show you. So here, let's look at eyebrows. You see this X here? That is when that little button is turned on. You can just completely get rid of a part. However, you may not want the users to be able to do that, so you can turn that button off and there's no X at the beginning. No X. Now, how do you make a part? Let's look here. So, I don't have any parts in this at the moment. And in order to add one, we can click this little button up here, or we can click this big button. It doesn't matter. So let's just call this head, because that's typically you start off making your head and your body as a base for everything else. And I'll make another one. Copy. Save. And then you can go to your items and your settings for each. However, first I am going to talk about sorting. So there are 2 different sortings. There's the sortings over here for the parts, and there's sorting for the layers. The sorting for the parts is basically the interface in which part will show up first for the user when they are making an image in your Picrew. So if you saw in my Picrew, the body was first, and then the head was next. And sometimes you don't add things in the order that you want them to appear for your viewers. So you can just move them around. You can just drag and drop. Typically, people will have the head and body first, and then they'll have facial features, and then they'll have hair, and then they'll have clothes, and then they'll have the background. And sorting for layers, that is for where you want, how you want each part to sit. So they will all be on top of each other because there will be parts of them of each that is transparent. So you will want your background at the very bottom. Let me show you actually with my own Picrew. Let's edit this. So you want your background at the bottom of your layer so that everything else sits on top of it. See, I have the background back here. And then you'll like want the body and the head, and you might want the back of the hair behind the body. Um, and then you want your facial features above the head, and then you will want the shirts and up above the body, and then you want any hats up above the head, and then any hands up in front of the body and in front of the clothes. Let me show you how to sort them. So to sort these, you just click and drag and then drop. Unfortunately, you can't really go any further down than your screen, so you have to drop it and then scroll down, and then you can drop it. If you have a lot and you want to go like all the way to the bottom, but I don't want to put my filters down there, so I'm going to hit cancel. So let's take a look at the items. So as we have seen, these ones on the sides here are the items, and they're usually different shapes. I will show you how to add them. Let's go to our test. And we have a few parts that we can add items for. So let's add an item. You can add one or you can add multiple. Let's add two. And the interesting thing about items is that you can reorganize most of them. So this appears in the order that they will appear for the viewers. So this one will be the first one they can select. This one will be the second one, and this will be the third one. If you want to change that, you can click the sorting button here, and you can move these around. Now, you can't really see anything moved around since these two are the same. Now, if you are working on an item and you have published your Picrew and you don't want other people to see it, or you're just not sure if you really want to add it, you can click this button here and it will not show up in your Picrew or in your preview. You can also delete parts items. You can delete parts too, but this is for items. So you can delete an item if you decide, I don't really want this, maybe it doesn't look good, maybe you decided against it, whatever the reason. You can delete a part and you can delete all of the colors that go along with it. And it'll just delete it for, that item, not part. But it won't delete the colors for the other items. And now we can see here that the first item you cannot turn it off and you cannot delete it. If you decide you don't like it, you can simply upload different files for each color. As you can see, I don't have colors here yet, but that is possible. I can show you what that looks like on my own Picrew. So let's look at the items. So as you can see here, we have items. If we decide to add an item, it will automatically give you spots for each color that you have chosen, and I will get into how to choose colors pretty soon. However, if you don't like it, just click delete, and it's gone. Don't have to think about it, don't have to look at it, it does not matter. And let's see, I already went over sorting it, I can just move these around, doesn't matter. So now let's talk about color palettes. As you can see here, I have a selection of colors for each item, and they are the same for each item in each part, but they can be different for each part. So to change a color palette for each part, you want to click on the settings. And you can see down here we have colors. And let me go to the test Picrew to show you how to add colors. So let's go to head settings. You can also click this button, bring it to the same place. And we only have one color here. let's add some more. And now you can, as you can see, you can also edit colors. And you can choose a color here. Now this will be the color that the little circle will appear as. It will not necessarily be the color of the actual image that you choose. You can upload any image for any color. They don't have to be the same. It's just generally people choose the same or a similar color as the little circle, just to help the user know what they're clicking. If you want to add a custom color, you can copy the code for that color and paste it into here. And now we have some colors for each item. Let's look at the items just as a refresher. So now we have a color for each item that we've added. Now maybe you want to link these colors up. Let me show you what I mean. So, oops, I mean click it. If we go to this Picrew, so I can change the color of the skin, and then I can also change the color of the hair. Oops, let me change that one. I'm going to change this one. And we can change these independently of each other. Now, if you want two parts to change color at the same time, say you want to change the body color and you want that to change the head color at the same time, you have to do something a little special. See these two, the head and the body, change at the same time, and it doesn't matter which one you do this from. So suppose you want to pair these two together. This does not happen automatically. You will have to, if you don't pair them, then the user will have to manually make sure that they are the same color if they so choose. And in order to do that, we have to go to palettes. That will be all the way underneath your parts on the side here, and it will be the second document icon. I'll show you what it says. It says color palette settings. So we want to click on that. So I already have one palette. You can make more than one palette by just clicking the plus button. You can delete a palette, which will unlink them, and you can edit a palette. So suppose I want to link one more thing aside from these. I can just click this one. However, I don't want to do that. But first, you're going to want to know, well, how do you create one? How do you link these colors together? Let's take a look. So first, we have to add one. And we want to choose which part we want to have the same colors. I want to make the body and the head have the same colors. And you'll see here that I have not chosen the same colors for each one. You typically want to do that first, so I'm actually going to do that really quick. Oh, I went to the wrong place. So let's choose some colors really quick. Okay, I have my colors selected. Let's go back to the color palette. Let's do this again. So we want head and we want body. As you can see, I have the same colors for each. Now the first thing we want to do is to pair the colors together. We want to use the same color for each one. And as you can see, as you add a color that is being paired, you will have the remaining colors that are left from each part. And then we can just choose as many as we want to pair. We don't have to pair all of them. But I like to, just because it makes things simple. So I have all of these paired. And like I said, these could potentially be different colors. Like this could be red and this could be pink. You're still able to pair them. You don't have to have the same color in these little boxes. But if you look at your Picrew, and you haven't done anything up here yet, you'll see that all of the circles will be white. You want to choose a color that represents all of the colors in a column. So I'm going to choose red. I'm just going to choose the color that is for all of the ones that are paired. And now we have linked our body and our head colors. So now when we choose red for the head, the body will also change to red. If we choose yellow for the body, the head will also change to yellow. Before, that would not happen. Before, you could choose red for the head and yellow for the body. One more thing I want to mention about the colors, oops, wrong area again. Let's go to the settings, is that you can delete colors. You can also edit colors. Just click the edit button, you can change it. Pretty simple. Now, if you delete a color, that will delete all of the colors for each item in that part. Although it won't go to different parts, it will just be under the part that you're here. So I'm under the head. If I delete blue for the head, it will delete blue for every item within the head, but it won't do anything to the body. So we still have blue for the body. It's fine. And let's look at items. The body still has blue. Now the head items, they don't have blue anymore.
So I believe that's all I really have to say about how to make your own Picrew. I hope it was helpful. This was the first video of this kind of ever really done. So if it's a little clumsy, that's why. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments.